Rwanda became the world's first nation to literally own the Champions League. They've been making millions for years by paying top players just pennies.
This is Rwanda.
This is Rwanda.
And this hug explains everything. This is one of the rarest moments in football history. Sergio Ramos, the man who spent 15 years trying to kick Lionel Messi off the pitch, is pulling Messi into his chest. First training session for Messi at Paris Saint-Germain back in August 2021. The world's eyes are on Messi, but look at Ramos's back. 2 words stitched between his shoulder blades. Visit Rwanda. Not Qatar, not Emirates, but Rwanda. A landlocked East African country most viewers couldn't find on a map. That Visit Rwanda logo has now appeared on the back of Messi, the GOAT himself, Neymar, Mbappe, Ramos, David Luiz, Bukayo Saka, Mesut Ozil, Di Maria, Griezmann, and Aubameyang, just to name a few. And in the 2025-26 season, Rwanda became the only country on earth simultaneously sponsoring multiple semi-finalists of the most watched club football tournament in the world, the UEFA Champions League. Here's Rwanda's president Paul Kagame sitting beside Nicolas Sarkozy at the Parc des Princes during a 9-goal thriller between PSG and Bayern Munich. The next night, he was in Madrid, sitting beside King Felipe VI, watching Arsenal draw 1-1 with Atletico. Woe cities, 2 nights. One country's flag on 3 of the 4 teams on the pitch. In a massive win for the tourism campaign, both Visit Rwanda partners made it to the final. The results are staggering. Rwanda is now generating over $500 million every year through its tourism sector. The irony? They're spending roughly 1,000th of what the Gulf states do, making it feel like Rwanda bought the entire Champions League for just $1. So how did a tiny nation with the GDP of a mid-sized American city, without outspending or outbidding anyone, end up with more brand exposure per dollar than Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE combined? This is the insane story of how Rwanda planned and executed one of the most successful sports advertising campaigns in modern history, building a robust business empire behind the scenes that most people never see, with an ultimate plan to turn these partnerships into a billion-dollar annual cash cow within a few years. We'll even go deeper to uncover how profitable this model really is compared to other nations, and crucially, look at the controversy behind the plan. To understand the whole thing, we have to start with one man and his favorite football team. The president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, has been an Arsenal fan since at least 2009. He told a Ugandan journalist that year that his son Brian and his daughter Ange both supported Arsenal, like him. He's tweeted about the club for over a decade. When Wenger left in 2018, Kagame called it a poorly handled ending. When Arsenal lost 0-2 to Brentford on opening day in 2021, he wrote 3 tweets in a row criticizing his own team. We must not excuse or accept mediocrity. A team has to be built with purpose to win, win, win. CNN ran it as a headline. So did the BBC. This shows how the president himself is invested in the team. By 2018, Arsène Wenger has just left Arsenal. The Premier League has introduced sleeve sponsorships for the first time. A small square of fabric on the upper arm of every shirt, now available for sale. Most clubs sell theirs to insurance companies, banks, or betting firms. Arsenal sells theirs to a country. Kagame's government saw something nobody else did. On May 23, 2018, Arsenal announced the Rwanda Development Board as its first ever sleeve partner. The Western media reported the deal at around £30 million over 3 years. Then the Rwanda Development Board's CEO at the time, Claire Akamanzi, tells CNN the deal is actually less than £30 million and declines to give the exact figure. That ambiguity matters because Rwanda's entire strategy turns on one principle that contradicts everything Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE are doing in the same years. The principle, do not overpay for the absolute top. Here's the 2018 Western News broadcast that ran when the deal dropped.
On this particular episode, CNBC Africa goes on ground to find out on that conversation with the £30 million that RDB and the government of Rwanda did sign with Arsenal Football Club in London.
EU lawmakers on screen demanding answers about why a country receiving development aid was paying a Premier League club for sleeve space. Rwanda's answer was simple. It's not a charity, it's a tourism board. It's buying impressions. According to Arsenal's then commercial chief Vinay Venkatesham, an Arsenal shirt is seen roughly 35 million times per day globally. Multiply that across a Premier League season, multiply it across 3 years. The cost per impression collapses to fractions of a cent. Just look at the sleeve, notice those 2 words flashing around the Emirates. Remember Aubameyang lifting the trophy back in 2020? Visit Rwanda was right there, part of the glory. The Year 1 stats told the whole story. A 5% spike in UK tourists and £36 million in value generated. It was all the proof Rwanda needed that the investment had absolutely paid off. Arsenal was never their final destination. Arsenal was the proof that the plan worked. The real play was bigger. By 2019, the Rwanda Development Board had spotted something nobody else was talking about. Paris Saint-Germain was in financial trouble. PSG had just paid €222 million for Neymar and €180 million for Mbappé in 2017. UEFA was breathing down their necks over financial fair play. To avoid a tournament ban, PSG needed to prove they could generate real market value commercial revenue independent